If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, then you already know that arguing with them is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, they're just gonna knock over the pieces, crap all over the board, and strut around like they won. So, how do you win? Well, you don't win by playing their game. You win by learning the game that they don't know how to play. And that's what I'm about to break down in today's video. How to outsmart a narcissist without losing yourself. My name is Raf, and on this channel, I give you raw, no BS relationship advice. If you're going through a breakup or trying to heal from a narcissist, then consider subscribing because I drop content every week that will shift the way you see relationships and yourself. And also follow me on Instagram, where I post daily content that doesn't always make it here on YouTube. The link is in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Make sure you follow me there too. But for now, let's get back to today's video. Now, let's get real for a second. Dealing with a narcissist, well, it can feel like a psychological warfare. One day they're charming, the next they're cold as ice. One minute they make you feel like the most special person alive, and then the next they make you question your sanity. If you ever felt like you're walking on eggshells, constantly second guessing yourself, wondering if you're the crazy one, well, congratulations. You've been caught in the gravitational pull of a narcissist. And here's a hard pill to swallow. You can't change them. You can't love them into healing. You can't argue them into awareness. But what you can do is outsmart them. And not just outsmart them, but do it without losing the most important person in the room, yourself. The first secret of outsmarting a narcissist is this: don't feed the beast. Narcissists, they're like emotional vampires. They thrive on reaction the way that fire thrives on oxygen. They poke and provoke, all to get the rise out of you. Why? Well, because your reaction, it validates their control. It feeds their ego. Many psychologists, they call this narcissistic supply. And it doesn't matter if that supply comes in the form of praise, tears, or even anger. As long as they're the center of your emotional universe, then they're winning. So if you want to starve the beast, you don't give them the supply. You respond with calm. You respond with silence. You respond with a boundary that says, you don't get to control how I feel today. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Raf, if I don't react, won't they just push harder? Well, probably, but outsmarting a narcissist isn't about winning the argument. It's about winning your peace. Proverbs 29:11 says, fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end. Now, let that sink in. Your calm is your power. Your silence is your strength. You don't fight fire with fire. You suffocate it by taking away the oxygen. Now, the second secret is to set boundaries like your soul depends on it. A narcissist without boundaries is like a thief with an open door. They'll take and take and take until there's nothing left. But when you set a boundary, you're essentially saying, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and I will not be moved. And let me tell you something. They'll hate it. They'll call you selfish, dramatic, overreacting. But you've got to remember, even God set boundaries. In Genesis, God said, you can eat from any tree in the garden, but not this one. Well, that was a boundary. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're godly. They're healthy. They're how you protect the temple that is your life. And here's the thing about boundaries. They're only as strong as your ability to enforce them. Think about it. A locked door, well, it means nothing if you keep handing out spare keys. So if you say,
don't yell at me,
and they yell, and you stay, you just taught them that your boundary is a suggestion, not a law. Understand that boundaries without consequences are just, wishful thinking. And trust me, narcissists, well, they smell weakness like sharks smell blood. So the moment that you set a line in the sand, stick to it. Because the second that you backpedal, well, you've already lost the war. Now let's get into a third secret. Never argue with delusion. Trying to argue with a narcissist is like trying to teach calculus to a squirrel. It's just not going to happen. Their entire worldview, well, it's built on lies that they tell themselves. I'm the victim. I'm always right. Everyone else is the problem. Know that you can't debate someone out of a delusion they, didn't logic themselves into. You'll lose every time, not because you're wrong, but because their ego is allergic to accountability. So instead of getting caught in the quicksand of endless arguments, just disengage. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to win your freedom. And sometimes it looks like saying, well, that's your opinion, and walking away. Sometimes it looks like not even responding at all. And you might feel like that's weakness. But let me flip it on you. It's strength, because you chose not to waste your energy proving something to someone who has no interest in truth. And that, my friend, is wisdom, not weakness. Another thing you got to do is guard your identity. And this one's huge. Narcissists, they are masters at psychological warfare. They'll chip away little by little until you start doubting yourself, saying, well, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm not good enough. That's how they win. Not by destroying you in like one blow, but by cutting you down slowly, piece by piece, until you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Outsmarting them, what means, refusing to give them that power. It means remembering who you are, even when, they try to convince you otherwise. You're not their puppet. You're not their punching bag. You're not their audience. You are a child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you live in that truth, well, their manipulation, well, it loses its grip. Their gaslighting, it can't touch you because you're anchored into something deeper than their lies. Psalms 139:14 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Well, that verse is an armor, an armor against the voices that are trying to convince you that you're less than what God already declared you to be. So every time, that they try to make you doubt yourself, remember this. You were chosen not by them, but by God. And their opinion, well, it's irrelevant to your worth. And the final secret is this: play the long game. See, narcissists, they love instant gratification. They love today's drama, today's victory, today's manipulation. They'll blow up your phone, guilt trip you, throw shade online, all because they crave immediate fix. But here's how you outsmart them. You stop playing the short game. You stop reacting to every little jab. You start focusing on the future that they'll never be a part of. You think bigger, you dream bigger, you live bigger, because nothing cripples a narcissist more than watching you thrive without them. And you want to know what the ultimate revenge is? It's not exposing them. It's not arguing with them. It's not even winning against them. The ultimate revenge is living a life so full, so joyful, so rooted in peace that they realize they never had that kind of power over you in the first place. That, my friend, is the ultimate checkmate. That's the moment that you win without ever having to play their game. So here's a lesson that I want you to leave with. Outsmarting a narcissist, well, it doesn't require you to be louder, meaner, or more manipulative. It requires you to be calmer, wiser, and more grounded in truth, because the greatest victory isn't destroying them. It's refusing to let them destroy you. So if you're in that place right now, wondering how to deal with the narcissist in your life, remember this: you don't beat, darkness by wrestling with it. You beat darkness by shining it so bright that it has no choice but to flee. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you got any value out of this video, please do smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos as soon as I publish them. And once again, follow me on Instagram. I'll leave my handle down in the description below or in the pinned comment down below. And lastly, if you're going through a breakup because someone cheated on you, or somebody that got cheated on and is having a hard time moving on, well, then you want to make sure you check out this playlist right here. It's got some fire gems. It's no BS. I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You're going to want to check that playlist out. I'll catch you there.